they're probably going to play something different just to throw them off.
Yes, so we just hope to see something different, like how next water plays brand with Mercury Threads, Icebound Gauntlet, the Angels Torment, Viralize. No need that much AP, but still do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
So it will be an interesting match if anything like that does happen still.
Yeah, brand becomes more of a damage over time kind of AP mid at that point.
Yes.
Definitely very strange and unique.
Just like how you play Tarek.
Tarek isn't strange or unique, he's viable.
Okay, anyway, so moving on right now for the last game of tonight for the Saigon Jokers against the Saigon Fantastic 5. We're going to move right into the last game for tonight for the champion section screen for the picks and bans. So the bans actually coming up a bit slower between both teams. Normally it goes on very quickly. So I believe because this is going to be the last match against each other in the GPL, they want to make sure they ban the correct champions. And instead we see Rumble being taken out. Even though we did see Nyx Water play Rumble in mid the other time.
And Trash being banned on the side of SF5. Is that more of a targeted ban, you would say? Or because Trash is just so strong as a support?
Trash is just too strong, I would say.
I will definitely agree with you. I've met many Trashes on rank
that
trashed me so bad. Yeah.
Yes.
Twisted Fate being better
and
and
trashed by
Cannon.
Trash.
Yeah, what a pun, huh?
Yes. Anyway, so Cannon is, I believe, will be the targeted ban towards QTV. He's been playing quite a bit in the Saigon Jokers matches against almost anyone. He comes in, he goes for AD build sometimes, and then he transitions to an AP build. So it's hard to know what he's playing. So he's going to remove it for the versatility.
Yeah, possibly because they know each other so well. He's just trying to troll, saying, "Alright, you want Cannon? Definitely." After going on after that, and yes, it is true that we have seen a lot of Cannon played on the side of Saigon Jokers on the top lane, especially the AD. But sometimes the thing about him is that he sometimes mixes it up. As you said before, he does go AD, AP, and sometimes a combination of those two. So it's very hard to see. He's kind of a wild card. People don't want to deal with that. And yes. Lux being banned out and Jarvan 4. Lux being not one of those champions that you see banned often. What do you think?
We SF5 has been training quite a bit, just that we don't know about it. Lux is not that hard to deal with in lane, but if she managed to snowball slightly, and then her final spark, the ultimate, will be able to just chunk down anyone and secure easy kills wherever she goes. Just travel across the river slightly, and just a final spark, and gets a free kill.
I'm gonna ask a stupid question. Has the patch for his ultimate cooldown reduction been out yet? There is a patch that will increase her ultimate
slightly.
Yeah, by 10 seconds in all levels. I'm not sure it has been implemented yet because I feel Lux's cooldown on her ultimate is just too fast.
It's too unfair.
Definitely she can be able to do it twice in a fight. One when she enters it and one while she's like leaving a souvenir as she leaves the battle.
Well, that's because that's what you do. You shoot lasers as a cute lady.
Yeah.
Pew! Just pew 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 and things will fly out. So before I move on talk about that, we will see the bans. The picks coming out for the South SF5 though might be Elise as well as Sona.
It has been locked in. It's indeed gonna be Elise against Shen on the top lane. Both champions notably banned at almost every game. This time they weren't banned and were instantly picked up as the both respective teams' first pick. We can see Shen possibly gonna go on the top lane over the jungle as Volibear has come out as the second pick on the side of Saigon Jokers.
So we might see Nasus being picked up as a jungler though. Nasus is considered a counter to Volibear because Volibear's Rolling Thunder needs him to move in the correct range before he can flip people over. So for him to do that, one breather will just stop the bear from being so thunderish in terms of the speed. Yeah. So we will see a change. It's going to be a Nami actually instantly locked in. So I believe this will be the first Nami we're going to see played by the side of the Saigon Jokers. And it's going to be very interesting to watch.
Yes.
A Nami game is definitely interesting. It could be a hit or miss. And when it's a hit, you could see the perfect ultimates knock.
Yeah, going back to what we said about the fact that the champions now will be a little bit more unique just to throw each other off. And also, I think Saigon Jokers actually heard what you said about Volibear and them picking Nasus as like, I'll go with Xin Shao instead then. But Xin Shao is equally affected by Nasus Meter. As we had talked about,
Yes.
he'll not be able to land his 3 talent strike.
But the slow AoE slow will still land if it's done well, so we'll be able to see how well this plays on. Oh, it might be the Rammus.
I have
rolling armadillo.
Yeah, I have not seen Rammus in a very long time. Rammus used to be very viable as a jungle, but he got hit with the nerf stick, reducing his HP per level as well as the armor.
And his rolling ball, the speed of the rolling ball starting
Basically,
up.
they destroyed what Rammus was. And that's why Rammus was hardly picked up. And there is the change. Nasus is the champion to be picked up.
But it might be a mid lane Nasus though, we've seen that a lot of late.
Or he could be a top lane Nasus with Elise in the jungle.
Yes, also possible. So it'll be interesting to see how well they play off these mind games right now for both teams. Oh,
What?
Tryndamere and Urgot. It's going to be interesting to see
Is
if
that
this
going to
locked
be
in.
a support Tryndamere?
No, it's going to be mid lane Tryndamere or top lane Tryndamere. Got the spin to win.
Okay.
Okay,
Because right now it's a Draven.
I know. So we're going to see what will be the picks. And Lux Ultimate, yes, has been nerfed in this patch. There is the 10-second increment, but it's still fast enough.
Yeah, it's still fast enough. Not safely that you'll be able to do it every single time. Because with maximum cooldowns, I believe it's 24 seconds previously. Right now,
Yes.
it's a little bit amped up to 32 at maximum level. With maximum cooldown.
Let me count. 25.
Or I'm possibly wrong, and it's actually 34.
At least
But-
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. So whatever it
30
is,
seconds.
she'll
Mine's my
still
quad
be
suck.
able to cast it twice in a battle, but she will be
Yes.
forced to build a bit of a cooldown build. Previously, she can go full nuke, all out nuke, and still be
Exactly.
able to cast it twice in one
Yes,
fight.
just in the blue buff and still doing very well. So the lock scene is actually going to be Nidalee, so we're going to see Nidalee play. Sorry, not Nidalee play.
Nixwater.
Wow, Nixwater playing Nidalee. I'm just saying that because Nixwater is so great in
Yeah,
Nidalee. We see it played so much. So it's just mixing on and about. Or you might be able to see Nami in the mid.
I wish, I hope, seriously.
You wish.
Yeah, I
so here
wish.
we will see the last pick come out for SF5 might be a Cockmore, might be the counter pick to Nidalee, which well, Saigon Jokers for some Nixwater when played against KLH did do that. Where Golden's picked up easily. Nixwater responded with a Cockmore, and the farming for both sides were quite evenly matched, and he did a great job in dodging all the spears. But no, it is going to be a Nami support. Nixwater will be in the mid with his Nidalee, Shen up top, and Archie as Urgot. So this combination play the bottom lane is going to be very interesting. The slows coming from Archie with the shield, the barrier, and then landing his missiles will be able to slow them, slow the opponents down. And as the slow is being procced, Nami's Aqua Prison is definitely going to hit.
Yeah, and it's a very unique duo at the bottom lane. We hardly ever see Urgot or Nami, and much less of them both together on the same
Yes.
time. So definitely very interesting how the bottom lane will work out. I fear something that might go wrong on the side of Saigon Jokers is because Urgot has a very limited range. Without his skills landing, his basic attacks range isn't
is
all
very
too
low.
far, and that will make it very easy for Sona to actually.
Also, there's a bug with the just now for the CSI. So they're going to remake it, and it's going to be very quickly. They're going to choose back the same champions. The champion picks were fine, but they're just going to they're just going to repick it with the correct balance and the same picks it's on, but just with the correct order. There's a swapping problem earlier, so this is going to be fine. They're going to restart the game very quickly and shortly after everyone's ready.
Once we re-enter into the phase where they pick and ban the champions, it's going to be really fast because they're going to do the same thing that they did in the previous round, and they're not allowed to change.
Mhm.
So
Yes. Was there any bugs or any problems at all? So there's no problems. So problems happening for this matchup. It was just a slight bug in the client. So this is it. Once again, back to the bans. Instead, everything is being banned out, and the picks are being locked in by all the players. Hopefully, no mistakes happen.
yeah, instead of
There are a few mistakes when remakes happen. The players ban the champions they're supposed to pick
oh,
because they
okay,
forgot by the banning phase.
yeah, that is true, and we can see a little bit of how the order of how it's banned, but it doesn't really matter. We see Twisted Fate, Rumble, Lux, Trash Cannon, and the last one, if I believe, yes, Joven. So, yeah, Shen, we're gonna see the same lineups all being picked up. For you guys that are out there, you can tell us in the chat which rune set you would like to see, because I know if you leave it up to Teddy, he will take a look at Nami or Urgot.
Really?
Yes, I call it. You're gonna call Nami or Urgot.
Okay,
Am I
so I'm just going to change it to Nasus instead.
Okay, but I want to see Urgot.
I don't care.
Okay. So tell us what you want to see. We'll definitely be reading that, and yeah, just waiting for the champion picks and bans to complete. Hopefully they'll be able to swap it out this time. Did they change it in a way so they'll be able to pick the champions without needing to swap?
Yes, of course, because this is the problem of swapping, so definitely the picks are just going through. They already know what was being picked, so there can't be any changes to it, as you mentioned earlier. So it's going to be on the safe side in terms of that. So it's going to be the Nasus up top, the jungle Elise, and then we will see that the combo is going to be mid, as you mentioned, the matchup, and the bottom is going to be Sona Ezreal, a poke comp which we haven't seen for a long time of late. Whether it'll be interesting to see, most probably might be a utility AD carry. The slows come out from Korma if buys a Violet Crystal Scepter, as well as additional slow coming out from Ezreal if it does buy the utility items. In terms of the Icebound Gauntlet, as well as the Spirit of the Lizard Elder, doing up damage over time, so Nasus are going for a cleanup, as well as the Crescendo. Perfect combination play of all these ultimates and the post coming up will be very strong.
Yes, and interesting to note that Naomi picked up Ignite as well. So there is no exhaust on the side of Saigon Jokers. There's nothing to stop divers, but luckily for them, SF5 does not have a single dive champion. Maybe except at least, because Nasus is probably gonna wither them down and just go to your face, but he can't exactly get in there immediately. So an exhaust is very useful when someone's charging your AD carry.
Yes, but we're going to see how well it picks off, because he will not be able to secure the kills, but he'll be able to fight 2v1s much better for Nasus because of his tankiness when he reaches level 6. So before we move on to the runes and masteries, we're going to go through a short commercial break first. So do stay tuned and we'll pick up the Urgot, I suppose. We will see what people respond first.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, let's go.
Go where? I can't see.
And we are back.
So, yes, we are back. So we're going to go through the runes and masteries for the side of Urgot. As mentioned before, the combination for the bot lane though, we're just going through with Urgot with Flash and Barrier. Nami's actually have Flash and Heal. So they want to fight a sustained fight at a long range. And might go in, but Nami might use a heal earlier or bait the opponents to come in onto them. So here for the side of the runes, we will see Urgot going for 8 physical damage coming up from the Quintessence and a slight mix in the AD, I believe. Oh, nope, it's actually going to be 1 point here in order to get the 8 flat damage on the glyph. So on the side of the armor penetration, it's all going to be on the marks. So 10 armor penetration is going to be a great pickup because Urgot does reduce armor when he's able to hit his third ability, which is a Noxian Corrosive Charge. And here on the yellows, we will see the seals. It's going to be a flat armor and a magic resist per level, as well as flat magic resist, a basic setup for AD carries, just a slight mix going for armor pen and damage instead, because Urgot does not need anything else, because he doesn't build to critical items and things like that. So on the side of the mastery, it's going to be a very interesting pickup. It's going to be 14, 13, 3. So the 14 points being picked up on the offensive tree is just going to be for the Havoc as well as Brute Force in order to secure more damage in the early stage. He does not really need that additional armor pen, which he did take in his runes, but going for the 4% cooldown and casting spells because Urgot is not auto attacker but the caster. And for the side of the defensive tree, you're going to be able to take hits much better, which a lot of players sometimes do not notice. When you take up the block and unyielding, you trade hits so much better with so much advantage. It's like having a free Dawn shield onto you, just without the regenerative properties. And for the side of the utility, taking the 3 points in the mana regeneration, which is very standard because as Urgot, you're going to spam your spells really quickly. So this is going to work out great for Urgot in this pickup. It's going to be tanky, has the regeneration, and then we are going to see a great game from this, a great pickup as well as a great setup coming up from the side of The Saigon
The
Jokers.
Saigon brothers.
Yes, I'm sorry,
Yes,
I was a bit stuck there because I was thinking of something else, but hopefully the combination for the bottom name will work very well.
Yeah, I could see it in your eyes, like you're thinking, lost in thought.
Yes, you're helping me out.
Alright.
Yeah, you're enjoying looking at my face being lost
Yeah,
in
it
thought.
was a very valuable moment. I was like, clap, clap. Okay, I know I'm very sadistic. Yes, true.
It's okay, I'll give you a whip next time.
Oh man.
Anyway, so going back to this game, we will see the matchup once again, and if the invades do happen, who do you think will go for it?
I would think, let's see, if Shen grabs his taunt early, he'll possibly be able to do a lot of damage onto whoever he has taunted. But it's pretty equal, I would say, and unless Nami grabs his her Aqua Bubble, but she probably
most probably the first skill to pick up. But I would say that Saigon Jokers will have a safer and better time going for a counter jungling. Because on the side of SF5, their champions are much squishier. Elise is still AP champion, still much squishy in the early game. Kog'Maw as well, Ezreal and Sona, all very squishy champions with the exception of Nasus. So it will be dependent on either 5 mid who's starting the lands first.
Yeah, wow, and we actually didn't notice this, but it's gonna be Ezreal middle instead of a Ezreal Sona bottom poke that I initially thought. So it will be a Kog'Maw Sona, I feel. No, unless Kog'Maw goes middle.
Kog'Maw should be going mid. You haven't been playing enough games. There are a lot of people who actually play mid right now by taking barrier instead. It's like a barrier bait.
Okay.
Yes, we can see that Nixwater is doing the same thing. As Zindali, he has a much more higher mobility, being able to juke his opponents, making them die at the tower, and then start using a barrier. That's how a lot of players are playing. And when you go against that as well, sometimes for mid laners, you see that they'll take barrier, so they're going to be able to bait the death mark under the tower, use the barrier, negate some burst, which would work in the early stages before Zed gets overfed. Like it will still work when Zed has a brutalizer, if I'm not wrong, and then bait and turn over with a kill.
Excellent point. And right now we have a pause. It's going to be resumed soon. This is the curse of the Teletubers, as every time I casted with him, there must be a pause game. Just putting it out there. So that's
because you're not channeling your energy into the stream, into the game. So you know everything is freezing. Okay, so moving for this game, we will see on both sides though. I suppose you could say a god water pokes. Like it does help each other out where three javelins before he suddenly goes in for the hyperkinetic position reversal. Yes, hyperkinetic position reversal.
Which basically swaps the positions of him and the target.
And he gains much more armor and magic resist for a few seconds after that as well.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that he supposedly is the AD carry, and if he puts himself in danger by swapping out the positions, which compromises his own position, it will be quite hard for him.
It's okay, that's why you have the tidal wave coming from Nami, and Urgot's gonna build most probably a Glacier Shroud or Frozen Heart by the middle of the game, or Guardian Angel. It's okay to die as Urgot. In terms of that, your overall team lineup, you do reduce and just poke. In the end, if you go all in, your team must follow up so you can do the cleanup. Yeah, you might not be the one letting the last hits, but you still do enough damage and enough of crowd control for your team to pick up all the kills.
And that's Shen as well, so they may be able to combo Shen's ultimate onto Stay United to actually go in exactly at the point where they swap, leading to a free taunt to almost like these 3 targets on the side of
basically the back line on the side of SF5. So here we will see Safety going for the golem start, and Junie took the small golem. Not sure whether it's intentional or it's an accident, but that forced Safety to take the larger golem.
Yeah, and now discussing Aqua Prison.
So we will see the Aqua Prison being used for the side of Junie to just help the CC the very golem. So they're going to go for an early gang actually down board. If they do manage to land it, it's going to be great because of the Aqua Prison coming out from Junie. It will be enough to lock down the champion if Safety dives in. So the 1 minute ward is in fact Youngsu will spot Junie camping in that area. Oh sorry, there's actually 1 minute more coming out from the side of the Saigon Jokers.
And you can see that Naomi immediately plays the pink ward down. He wants to really pull off this early gank, and we can see Xin Shao just hiding.
Xin just going in for it, the exhaust comes up, but they will score the first bird, and that will be it. The first kill goes to the Saigon Jokers. Rotating the side of how your back and find the monsters are great. And here we will see up top the gang going off. QTV goes for the taunt onto Egg. Will be forced to fall back. At least water coming out from the side of the wall, throws a javelin, but it does not hit.
But
so it will be just fine.
Yes, but it is enough to push the SF5 back, as they do not want to commit into an area they did have no information about whatsoever. And we can see Nasus still climbing up, racking up CS to charge up his spirit, his Q.
The Siphoning Strike.
Siphoning Strike.
You were thinking of Spirit Visage for some reason, I'm not sure why, but it's actually...
I know it's like Siphon CS and
yeah, so you'll be pinged with too much Spirit Stones. So QTV being able to get out of a tight position is going to be safe and sound. And bottom lane though, because the first blood did go on to safety, but assist came down to Urgot as well as Nami, they are going to have a great time pushing away Yangsu and Violet. We can see that Violet's only at level 2, while Archie as well as Junie is already at level 3.
And that is actually kind of surprising, as Ezreal and Sona is well known for their ability to poke much more than Urgot, but this is something new that possibly might catch on, because it seems to be working on pushing Ezreal back as well as Sona. But Sona, the sustain coming from Sona is just able to keep them in the lane even if Ezreal gets poked way too much.
But we will have to see about that. Both champions now level 3. If Archie does manage to land things perfectly fine, or hopefully Violet notices that Xin Zhao was there because both happened, but Aqua Vision lands onto Sona. He will charge right in with the heal and look at the... There was no slow coming from Archie right now because he did not take up the barrier, but he will be able to chunk down lots of health of Violet as well as Yangsu. So this will be a fair trade on both ends, and Junie using a lot of mana to heal up, but so far it will still be fine. And here we will see the junglers meet onto each other's safety, getting caught by Ace Cocoon, but the dash damage has been used and safety goes in to trade off. It's going to be a fair fight for both junglers. QQ trying to go and help Egg, but it was not needed, so it goes move back right into the lane.
Going back to the bot lane, I feel that SF5 got ahead of that because they have the sustain, whereas Nami and Urgot, they do not have the skills or the necessary skill sets to sustain fights. They have to rely on potions, consumables that cost money. And we can see Nami just chugging down a bunch load of pots just to keep up with the healing of Sona, who doesn't really need to consume anything at all. And now at the top lane, we see actually Nasus is on the back foot. It is very hard to lane against a good Shen, as his ability to sustain as well as do damage is kind of free. He doesn't have mana, he uses energy just to do damage.
Yes. But Nasus should be fine farming under the tower with the Siphoning Strike as well as the Spitfire, but he just needs to be very careful not to get poked up too far away. You can see there's a slight, in terms of damage trading, just showing Warper Blades from the side of QT will be enough to pressure Zerg. So here we might see a gank going on to mid. Egg is in the perfect position, but will Nixwater run towards him, but no, the slow hits, but the Cocoon misses. Nixwater just sidestepped away from it, and this will be, it's going to be us. Also a failed gank, a great gank attempt, but just a bit too far.
Yes, if Nidalee had walked left instead, she might have got tangled in the web and things will go really bad for her on ban. But as it is, she did step to the right, making her able to escape safely. But Nidalee is being outpoked by a Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw, once he reaches level 6, he is able to... And at the top lane, we see a taunt going down, just putting on a lot of pressure into Nasus, but not committing into it. I feel that the taunt is still remain capped at level 1, just to annoy.
It's really what is most important for Shen. You need to annoy your opponents, just give them a lot of pressure, unable to safely farm. We can see that Shen has a 10 CS lead, as well as the bot side. The CS has finally tied off because Urgot went back to base first to pick up the Tear of the Goddess and the additional longsword.
Yeah, both ADs at the bottom are tied at 45 CS. Nothing really too special. Urgot going for more of a utility kind of spammable build, whereas Ezreal is going a little bit more standard. As we can see, he did pick up a Doran's Blade and a Longsword as well as a Vampiric Scepter. Maybe he's not going for what we normally see with Ezreal these days. Some Ezreal still prefer to go for Bloodthirsters and the like, going as more of a standard AD build. We'll see where that goes from there.
It might be actually be a Blade of the Rune King because Xin Zhao, Shen as well as Urgot will be building a bit tanky, so might be a Blade of the Rune King. We cannot cancel it out first because the Vampiric Scepter has been bought and then there's an additional Longsword, so it makes me feel like it's going to be a Blade of the Rune King instead. But we just have to wait and see what they do decide to go for. And for the side of Urgot, well, other than going utility and tanky, he's really not that great of an AD carry. Once it goes to the late game, if you manage to shut down your opponent, you'll be able to do a lot of damage. But if not, your overall damage scaling is going to drop quite heavily since they have nerfed how his overall skill works. Whenever he lands his Noxian Corrosive Charge, his Acid Hunter cannot fly off map now. He's at a certain range. So that's why we haven't seen that many Urgots being picked up and used at all so far. But here we will see an early Dragon attack coming out from the side of SF5. Juni is caught in a bad position. He will get jumped on, and the Cocoon coming out will be able to land onto him. But the Stand Unit Title will be able to come down. Nope, it will not be enough. It will actually, wow, be a double kill for the side of SF5. Almost managing to land the kill, but the heal coming up from Sona was enough to keep Elise alive, and they will be able to secure this dragon.
And also, Nami, she would wish that she have gotten the Crescensons of health, because if she has survived a little bit more, Shen will be able to come to help. As it is, her HP was too little, she got taken down before Shen could finish his channeling, and that caused Shen to be stuck at the top lane fighting Nasus. But at the top lane, he is still controlling things pretty well. We can see Nasus' HP has actually dropped. Not the HP, sorry. I mean, his MP is currently depleted and there's nothing much he can do. Now, just spamming his ultimate just to grab some more creeps. His Siphoning Stripe does get powered up every time he last hits with it, making him a very ideal farmer. We have seen games where Nasus actually reaches a charge of around 500, 600, maybe sometimes 800. Yes, and critical at the thousands. This is how dangerous Nasus is if he is allowed to farm. I'll say Shen will just go and throw a Warper Blade and be annoying. But no, he chooses to commit. And inside, Xin Xiao goes in with a 3-talent strike, finishes it up with the ultimate, and that is a clean kill. Shen gets away. The kill does go on to Xin Xiao. That's fine for Shen. He doesn't really need it. And right now, both will just walk away with the kill. Brilliant gank on the top lane.
Yes, but if Zerg did have the Ignite instead of Exhaust, he might have been able to secure the kill onto QTV, because he did get the extra regeneration from the Rejuvenation Bead, as well as auto attacks from the Warper Blade. So the Exhaust didn't work out so well for that fight, just at the moment, or at that point of time.
Yes, well, Exhaust kind of scales better into the late game where the damage is reduced by percentage. You could really reduce the effectiveness of a champion down to nothing at the late game. But right now, at this point, it doesn't really it doesn't affect as much, I would say.
It's really dependent on the champion's fight against. If it's a high regen champion, Ignite is much better over Exhaust, because you stop the regenerative abilities as well as the lifesteal. Sometimes that's why AD carries die to Ignite, even though like they have a little health left. But the Ignite at the high level still manages to take them down because they are unable to lifesteal back the health quick enough because of the 50% reduction.
That is true as well. And now Shen has, I would say, much more control than he had when he returned. Now picking up
the Sunfire Capes already in 10 minutes, and that is a feat. He has been missing, almost every. He's been able to pick up every CS. I'm sorry about that, and he's also been able to pressure and push Zerg away very easily. And coming down to see it, but the bottom lane, we will see the match is slightly tilting, but in the end, Ryler is actually going to go for the Spirit of the Lizard Elder.
So yes, he is going for that utility build we talked about earlier.
But he's building up the the Vampiric Scepter just to get some additional lifesteal so that he'll be able to sustain better in the lane. So up top now, Zerg with his ultimate is slightly much stronger than Shen because it does do percentage health AoE damage as well as siphon some the health as well as the AD. So it will be so here we will see a great swap of things onto Yang Xiu for the side of Archie, and they should be able to secure this kill. The Tidal Wave come out, the 3-talent strike lands as well. It was a double knockout for the side of Violet, but he manages to flash away in the nick of time.
Yes, the poor Sona taking the brunt of the damage, but the kill did fall onto Nami instead, and that's not really something you want. So that gank could have gone better, but taking one kill is, you just take it at this point of time.
It's also great for the support to get the early kill sometimes. In order to get a quick Ruby Side Stone or even the GP10 like a Philosopher's Stone, so your support will be able to perform better and buy more wards without costing too much money. You can see once the Side Stone has been picked up, it's much easier and the support will save much more money and can focus on buying Vision Wards instead, which we still see a single Vision Ward being picked up.
Yeah, you enable the support to actually wage a ward wall much more efficiently. Being able to just plant wards for free, definitely something welcome. This is a new implementation in Season 3. In Season 2, there is no such thing as the as the Sight Stone. When it first came out, I thought it was an OP item. You know, you're able to just place wards for free. Back then, is you work for your wards. And if you don't have enough GP5, you can actually run out of wards because you do not have enough income to sustain the vision that you need to provide.
Yes, and it also caused how support items were also stagnant. But here, slightly because of Season 3, we do see the support items being changed around slightly, as well different playstyles being invented by everyone. But on the side of Archie, though, we will see him pick up the Brutalizer, which is something very common, but the Giant Bulb being picked up so quickly, so he wants to be much more tanky. Instead of going for the initial damage you could have gotten if he did choose to buy a Mana Mune or even extra longsword just for the damage, but it's going to go much more tanky. You can see he's already at 1,600 health, and he goes in once again with the swap, and there's nothing much Riot can do. The perfect timing of the Aqua Prison after the swap finishes, and then the knockout. Xin Zhao goes in for another knockout, and we see Riot sacrifice himself for his support, jumps back to the fray of the minions so that they will not be able to chase up Yang Xiu.
Yeah, that's definitely very heroic of him. He knows he's dead. The damage coming out from Urgot, the DPS, he will not have lived even if he flashed or even if he did get away. So now Nasus just spamming up his ultimate. He knows the pressure is onto him, and if he does not do something about it, he will fall gravely behind. So he uses his ultimate just to get some pressure off him.
Yes, as well, so just continuously farm up at the top lane. At the same time that was happening, the trade happening up top. We really see the bottom lane, the tower being taken, and SAJ is in the lead right now for 2,000 gold, and they're just waiting for the next dragon to respawn, which is in the next few seconds. Unless they're going to back off, at this time is not the correct choice. SF5 will be able to pick up a free dragon if they do decide to do that. And yes, they will be backing off. But Nami has really backed off much earlier, has a tidal wave up and ready, is moving down to the dragon. Will she be able to stop the dragon attack? But nope, the chunk of damage coming out from TQ almost manages to burst her down, but she needs to be much more careful about what she plans to do after this.
Yeah, they do not have enough members here. The dragon will not be contested. Nixwater and Junie taking a lot of pain, and their health are now reduced to around half. Nixwater heals it back up, but this the victory has already been struck on the side of SF5. They have taken the dragon, and right now, as with the kill on Junie early game, we can see that she's actually placing a lot more wards over Sona, giving them the vision advantage.
Yes, not only just normal wards, but pink wards as well. We're going to see a lane swap happening. Nixwater going to be happily traveling down the bot lane. He will be able to fight with this 2v1 as well. At the same time, Archie and Junie goes to the mid lane in order to secure this tower. And this is actually going to be a great swap because the mid lane is much shorter and it's going to be much harder to dodge Urgot's capabilities and abilities, and it will be easier for Nami to land Aqua Prison.
As well as the tidal wave, you can see that the tidal wave might actually fit that entire middle lane if she casts at a very strategic area. There will be no running from the tidal wave. Also at the top lane, we can see it's pretty much a stalemate, and this is what something Nasus wants. Nasus likes it to be stalemated, where he was able to just farm up creeps, and he did see Shen teleport back, so he knows that he is free to farm. But at the middle lane, we see safety being a little bit caught out. Crescendo comes down, Shen comes in trying to save him. The tidal wave comes down, knocks up. Oh, it just misses Yang Xiu by a little bit. The True Shot Barrage comes out. Ig's probably not going to make out of this. QTV just giving chase all the way in. Xin Shao picks up the kill. It's going to be a 1-for-0 trade on the side of Saigon Jokers, and especially thinking of the fact that Xin Shao was the one who got caught. But wow, Archie going in for a ballsy swap, and he did pick up the kill, but at the cost of his life. Cockmore might be able to pick up Xin Shao, and he does with the help of the turret. Poor Xin Shao thought he got away with it, but no. And Nasus free to farm at the top lane. There's nothing Nami could have done. QTV coming in from the side. The Javelin toss is good, but QTV has got to back out of this, because if he stays on, he will not be able to survive. And wow, all that, Nasus tries to go in, but his mana is low. He will not pursue Junie, or at least I think he won't. He might be still.
Just yet.
Yeah. And Nasus knows that it's no longer safe to push on. He has pushed it deep enough. The turret will be able to reset his creep wave as he comes back, and he's gonna just go back and get his items.
And so right now the game is actually at the stalemate in terms of the goal. Just nice 24.8k on both sides, 24.9k now, and both teams just showing a strong showing of understanding of one another so far.
Yes, definitely. And Nixwater, she has been very passive this entire game. We can see that she is at 0-0-0. She has no kills, no deaths, no assists. She has been farming all game long, but look at her CS. It is way above Kog'Maws.
Yes, and here once the tower went down, we will see actually Shen going to speed push the bottom lane because the tower is down. He'll be able to gain much more advantage. He has the Sunfire Cape, in addition to Giant Belt, will be able to trade hits and tank hits from the AD carry much easier. As now, we will see Nyx Water as well as Safety travel up top to try to take out the top turret. It should be another gang coming up as Xin Zhao is moving into position and he will actually... No, he's not going to dive in, which is the correct choice. I thought he was going to dive in, but yes, he does. He just goes in for the slow to land a few strikes to apply some HP pressure onto Zerg. So when he uses his ultimate, they should be able to bring him down. And the speed fire is not enough to clear off the minion waves. They're just going to hit from the hurt onto the tower. Safety doesn't mind taking a few hits, and this will be a pickup for the mid tower. As Dashi is a bit tanky, but here look at that, we will see the tower go down up top. Just waited slightly for the skills to go down. Exhaust goes up, Safety is falling very low, but will not have enough damage from Zerg to pick it up.
Yeah, and right then at the middle, Urgot actually took down the middle tower and nearly fell to Kog'Maw's combo. But the good juke at the last minute avoided sure death from there, and he managed to get the tower for free. So great job on the side of SAJ. They did take both towers almost simultaneously, and then we can see the goal lead actually is in the favor of the Saigon Jokers for the first time in this match.
No, they got it. It was earlier actually.
Okay, so I was a little bit confused because they
on.
all have Saigon names on them. Yeah, so with the dragon, SF5 did pull out a hit, but
we really see the Elise use the smite, but it was a bit too early, so the red buff actually goes onto Nyx Water. QTV going to dive onto Violet because he does have the Sunfire Kill, additional Giant Bell, and the Ninja Tabi. Look at the amount of damage Violet is doing. It's like a mosquito bite, and here QTV is just going to follow up with everything, forces the flash, he flashes and follows through and lands the auto attack and the Warper Blades. Now he should activate his Fiend and tank that tower hit and walk out alive.
And guys, this is why Shen is always banned. It's just being able to go in your face, especially if you do not have support. And this is done, and also because of his ability to split push, of course. But
yes,
yeah, he's just so annoying.
But in order for that to happen, he needs to be able to snowball slightly, have a better advantage than opponent top lane, which did happen in this game in the earlier phase because Safety did go for a few ganks, and he was able to secure the kill onto Zerg.
Yeah, but it's also quite easy to win your lane as Shen, as he has very, very good sustain, targeted spells as well.
Darius is like, Shen? What's Shen's been doing? I mean, that depends on the situation of a lot of things, but definitely the Suki for Shen to be played up top is great. He's going to be a great tank, do decent damage, but not the best damage dealer.
He isn't much of a damage dealer, it's just very hard to unseat at the top lane, making him able to just farm almost freely. And right now we see SAJ just coming through the sides. Look at that oracles on Junie. All that wards for nothing on the side of SF5. We can see it's gonna be more of like a ward war. Aqua Prison just attempt to land. It does not. Junie is in quite a dangerous place. If she continues, she might lose that oracle, but SAJ will go for the dragon. And with the D-ward they have done, and the warding they have put at the forward positions, they will be able to do this.
And you can see QTV actually going in from the side. The taunt lands onto Violet, but Violet managed to arcane shift away. Look at the amount of burst damage coming out from Kog'Maw. They need to be very careful of how they venture onto it. And Egg as well, doing quite decent damage with the Sorcerer's Boots as well as the Haunting Guys, penetrating overall magic resist on everyone on the side of Saigon Jokers.
Yes, this is has been a very back and forth game, I'll say, and I cannot see for certain which team has the advantage even at where we are right now. Sure, the goal lead just indicate that SAJ is ahead, but we must not forget that they have a Nasus which exponentially grows as the time continues with his accumulation on his Siphoning Strike.
Yes, but now Shen picking out the Bilge Water Cutlass, so he's going to go Blade of the Rune King, which is a common build on Shen right now. He has additional sustain coming out from auto attacks. Auto attacks much faster, his key strike will be up and ready much quickly, and he'll be able to recover energy as he goes in for the duels, which is the main problem for Shen, the energy control. How you control your energy so you'll be able to use your skills and secure kills as well, get away from tough situations.
Yes, you do receive more energy back if you taunt a greater mass of people. And definitely as Shen, you want to taunt as many people as you can. As you said, the energy management is very important in handling a Shen. And right now, both teams just very passive. The next area of contest, I'll say, will be either the next dragon or even Baron. They would be trying to catch up enemies as much as they can. Again, Shen coming in,
with
chasing
the
on.
taunt and the ignite, uses the build watcher colors to slow Violet down. There's nowhere for him to go. Just one more Wobble Blade will be enough, but no, the Crescendo and Exhaust is used, and QQ will pawn Shen in the end.
Yeah, poor Shen, but definitely a good effort. It does waste Ezreal's. Did he burn anything? I believe he used this. No, he didn't burn. He used Ignite.
That wasn't the flash. But his team was up there and really helping. So here we see a trade between Zerg and Nixwater, and Zerg is not doing too much damage to Nixwater, but Nixwater currently missing all his skills. Trying to jump back right in, poke around, try to chip him down, but he does have the Spirit Visage, so he is a bit tanky towards Nixwater's damage and attacks.
Yes, not to mention his passive allows him to restore health every time he basic attacks or even uses his Siphoning Strike, making him able to sustain even longer at the top lane. And we see Nixwater has seemed to have migrated to the top lane.
Yes, he's doing a two-split push game where they have Nixwater or Nidalis up top and then Shen down bot, and Urgot, Nami as well as Sinsa will focus on mid lane or transition themselves to bottom or top whenever needed. You see Nixwater just planting traps and just staying up in the top lane like a boss without even that many wards. You can see that the warding on the top lane is just empty, just a few traps. So he's decided to back off. But the side of SF5, they planted the walls to guard the jungle, to try to spot anyone who tries to go in for the invade or the kill. So they need to be much more careful about what they decide to do. And here we can see Archie actually building Warmogs as his third item, quickly completing it. It's going to be a tanky bruiser. Something.
Yeah, it's not an AD for sure, I would say, as he did not grab a core AD flat damage item, and he does have a flash into an ultimate. Shen does place the ultimate on RG. Egg will make it out alive. The tidal wave comes down. Zerg will fall very, very quickly here, and with the damage, the last hit coming on the side of Xin Xiao, Nixwater jumps in onto Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw has no natural escape, forces to flash, but the ultimate might be able to wither Nixwater down, and ultimate comes in. Israel coming in from the sides, but will he take anyone down? I do not think so. He is in a bad position. He juked the taunt. Very good job there. The javelin does not land, and I think things will just steady out from here. Archie will not be able to do much from this. But a great initiation from the side of Archie, just playing the AD as not an AD, more of an initiator. We see the flash right into an ultimate, and once the swap is complete, Naomi is ready with the Aqua Prison, but so was Elise. Elise immediately rappels away, but she ironically made it, but Nasus did not. So it was a 0 for 1, or was it a 0 for 2 trade coming up from there?
It was a 0 for 1 trade in the favor of Saigon Jokers, but they did use up a lot of ultimates, so they forced the fallback. The next dragon is coming up very quickly, so both teams need to be very careful where they go. And Junie being caught in the bad position. I believe he tried to plant a ward, but he got spotted out. And here we can see the turnover damage. They're going to take down QTB as well. They're going to heal back to regenerate after going out, and they're going to try to attempt for the Baron, but Nixwater says, nope, I will not allow you to do it. But he's being bursted down as well. The Crescendo misses, but in the end, Wild will be able to land the last auto attack to secure the kill. Maybe. Because Junie is still alive, he is coming up from the base, he did buy the home guard boots, he has a lantern as well as the Locket of Iron Slurry. Will he be able to make it in time? Because the overall damage output coming from SF5 is not that great currently.
Yeah, I don't think so, and with Nasus tanking it for them, they will be able to do this, no problem. They're going to grab the Baron and move back. This is truly has been a back and forth match. Look at the goal difference now. Civil War is just getting hotter.
Yes, and a bit iffy as well as to them to go back to heal up much faster. They still went back in for the fights, which they should have backed off, and did cause them a few kills as well as the Baron. They need to be very careful for the next thing to decide to do, but Archie manages to pick up the Muramana already, and going for the Chain Vest should be Iceborne Gauntlet or a bit of Frozen Armor, or it just could be a Guardian Angel instead.
Yeah, going back to how SAJ actually lost the match in the middle, it's because Junie got caught, and that wasn't really in the plans of SAJ. They were like, oh, so traumatized by the loss of their support. They weren't counting on a 2 versus 4 in the middle lane. They thought they had Naomi, but they did not. So everyone just I mean, the things just kind of stacked on each other, and the kills, especially with Nidalee, who in reality might be able to take down Elise, if not for the enemies. But right now, you can see Dragon being contested very heavily here. We have all 5 members on both teams, with the Dragon being in the middle, Dragon being the neutral. Overwatching this battle is like, okay guys, you just settle it out among yourself. Just leave me alone.
Yes, but QTV is coming in from the side. He does have his flash. He might be going for the flash taunt to hit onto everyone. But no, he just goes in for a normal taunt, hits onto Violet, but it's being brought down so easy. The tidal wave for hit onto Sona as well as SJ. I'm sorry about that. I had a misclick, so I'm moving the camera a bit off. But here we will see Stand Attack being used, and this fight is actually going into favor because of the burst damage coming out from Elise and Nace's ultimate just chunking down onto the Saigon Jokers. And we will see Nyx Water go down in the end, most likely because of the individual that's coming up really quickly. But nope, he will decide to back off. Don't want to take too much tower hits, and Urgot will fall back, and this does not bode so well for the side of the Saigon Jokers once again.
Yes, but however, the goal difference is still so little. Did SAJ manage to still... Was the Dragon still up?
No, the Dragon is still up, but it's because of the CS difference coming from Nyx Water as well as Shen. They had the advantage of farming throughout the game, pushing mid, pushing bot, but they haven't secured anything large for the team. And here we will see SF5 just charging right in onto the inhibitor turret, moving next onto the inhibitor, taking it down so quickly, and there's nothing much Saigon Jokers could have done about it.
Yes, and that is definitely something that SAJ is gonna regret, especially right now when they have the fight that cost them the Baron.
And now it's going to cost them even more.
It's going to cost them even more. As with the Baron, SF5 actually won that match, even though they were equally farmed in equal goal. SF5 had the Baron buff, which gave them so much of an advantage.
Yes.
In that
fight. Another problem coming up in this matchup is that, Smite's still right there. Safety just says, okay, I'm giving you too much, I'm going to take away this blue buff. And we will see a respawn coming off from Saigon because they're trying to take down the mid, but I don't think it will be enough. But they will be forced to fall back. Look at that True Control Arcade Rush, taking down the HP a bit, but forcing them to back off by clearing up the minion waves. So Saigon Jokers needs to be much more careful with their split push and timings they opt to move out from the lanes already. There's not much coming out from Saigon Jokers in terms of damage, which is the main problem right now. I'm sorry. Because Elise, as a jungler, you can see she has a Liandry's Torment Sorcerer's Boost and now a Giant's Belt. But because of the magic penetration, is granting her so much advantage, and while QTV manages to steal that golem. And for the side of being a tanky champion, Zerg is now falling behind because of his Overwatch 2 kits as well as his ultimate. It is becoming a major problem for them to engage as well as fight. And coming from the back, the pokes of the Icebound Gauntlet as well as the ooze coming out from TQ is just stopping anything from happening. And Saigon Jokers is getting picked off one by one each time.
Being a little bit in trouble here, she flashed away. She may still have her rappels, I'm not so sure about that. But right, she will have a clean escape. SF5 did try to engage onto QTV on the top lane. It is quite hard to take down a Shen, especially a Shen which has built out items this much into the game. So what do you think SAJ can do to come back from this? They are definitely not out of this, as they are still very closely tailing SF5, but what is the best thing they can do right now?
They really need to split push based on the composition they have chosen. In terms of the fights that engage, is not so great, but the tidal waves from Nami has been hitting onto important targets. But the problem coming from that is that they are not being able to burst anyone down. They really need to pick people off one by one with the hyperkinetic position reversal that Urgot has is the most important factor. They need to catch off Kog'Maw and Ezreal separately and then burst him down and then go for a team fight.
Yeah.
Nasus charging with the Wither as ultimate just stops everything. The Crescendo as well. Even though not as far range as Nami, but will do the job just well enough. And it is Cocoon, the Toxic as well as the Bites coming up. It's just chunking off so much health on the side of the Saigon Jokers because they don't have any magic resist just yet. And you can see that Safety knows that the damage coming out from TQ and Egg is just so high. He has bought 2 now Magic Mantles, and look at that. Xin Zhao actually losing the trade to Kog'Maw and is being forced to fall back and waiting for his cooldowns.
Yeah. The problem SAJ has right now is they do not have the sustained damage that ADs normally carry with them. Choosing to place Urgot as a much more of a utility role as well as a semi-off tank. This is the price they have to pay. But at the bottom lane, we see a little bit of a trade between Nyxwater and Zerg. It seems that Nyxwater is getting the greater end of this, just poking Zerg back. And QTV going once again on Ezreal. He has an Ezreal fetish. He's not going to leave him alone. Every time Ezreal is farming in the lane, Shen will be there. Shen will be pushing him back.
Yes, he'll just go for it to try to apply as much damage as possible. You can see that Baron is actually responding shortly, and everyone on the side of SF5 is gathered there except for Nasus. It's just guarding the top lane. They're just going to try to catch someone out of position. They do see the Philippines coming up. They need to be very careful where they go. QTV dodges a cocoon, but the slow will be enough to take him down low enough and will stop him. But the Aqua Prison should be enough to save him. But nope, Iceborne Toko goes again. Blade of the King is being used, and he should be able to get out of this fight. And they will do a great trade, but nothing much. Actually, SF5 managing to take no HP loss at all with the Hymn of Valor coming up. Every Perseverance, I mean, and here we will see they try to go in for the kill. Nami being brought down. He did not even use the Tidal Wave. That last one ultimate, and here we will see Safety actually be chunked down by Egg. But nope, Safety should be able to get out, but Egg is just waiting for cooldowns. The bite goes out, the cocoon lands, Toxic hits, Spider falls up, and the Liandry's almost taking him down, and Egg is back into the Spider form and safe. There's nowhere for Safety to go. He just stood there in the end.
Yeah, you can see Xin Shao giving up on life at the end. He says, okay, here's where I'll just stop. There's no way I can actually escape this. Now, SF5 have a commanding lead from almost an ace, killing 3 members down on the side of SAJ. And SAJ is now pushed to the corner, but the spears are good. The spears are landing pretty well. Violet dodges that one. That could have spelled his doom. Immediately a flash into a crescendo, into a true shot barrage. Immediately taking Nidalee down. Great job by Kog'Maw. We can see his scores at 717. He is right now a beast. They could actually end this right here. Yes, there is nothing to stop Nasus. This is a surprising GG at the last second. Just a quick blitz attack, catching SAJ off guard and just ending it right there. I did not expect it to end right at that moment.
Yes, I really thought that Saigon Jokers were performing quite much better in the early phase, in the laning phase, how the junglers came to help. When it came to the team fights, you could see how much damage they were lacking with the item builds that all the players were going. It didn't really work out so well for them. So let's go through the score screen and take a better look of the things we're mentioning about very quickly. So of course for Nyxwater, he actually decided to go for his own unorthodox build. He didn't go for the void stuff he normally would buy, but he went for the Death Cap, and then he has the Antonin's Holy Grail as well as the Iceborne Gauntlet, which did give him the ability to slow and run away from enemies really well, but did not give him enough damage at all. And for safety, on Xin Zhao, he went for the Lantern first. Not sure why not the Spirit Stone instead, because he's going up against Elise in the jungle, does not do that much auto attacks. The armor does not need to be too high, and he could have went for either Spirit of the Lizard Elder. Sorry, Spirit of the Elder Lizard. Yes. Sorry, wow. Getting it off quite a bit. And for the side of Shen, he did build the items he needed to split push and win his lane, but the problem was that when it came to the team fights, his presence wasn't great enough to threaten and push away everyone. For the AD carries and the perfect escape skills, Crescendo came out for Sona so well. And you can see from the item difference in the end, Kog'Maw was very much ahead because of the kills. He was doing a lot of damage with the Seraph's Embrace, Wabulon's Death Cap, and the Riot Crystal Scepter. Elise just needing these 2 main items, Sorcerer's Boots and the Liandry's Torment, and just did so much damage with the Toxic Blast, with Toxic as well the Venomous Bite. And for the side of Zerg, just being tanky, charging in, taking all the hits with the ultimate, just absorbing more AD and also doing percentage HP damage, just closing off everyone. And Violet, just with so much kite ability in the team fights, he just always try to place himself in safe positions, land missing shots with his items, and Kog'Maw and Elise would secure all the kills.
I would say SF5 really made a lot of good decisions, able to capitalize on what they felt SAJ was out of position, capitalized on that, went straight in for the blitz attack in the middle. Not only that, they also made a very good decision at catching off Junie and then immediately capitalizing on attacking the tower in the middle lane.
Yes, and they just took all the small advantages they could and just powered it up and they won the game. So you could see the kills difference is not that large for this game, but it's actually in the end a very decisive win for the side of SF5.
Yes.